In a shocking and twisted incident, a German teenager used a dating app to lure a 39-year-old man into a first date, only to brutally murder him within minutes of meeting. The then 18-year-old, identified only as Sarah M., killed the man out of a perverse desire to become famous. Inspired by her obsession with notorious American serial killers Richard Ramirez and Ted Bundy. Before we start, if you find this video fascinating, then at the end, please drop it a like and let me know what you thought about the case. It helps the channel. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe for more. Thank you. Sarah M., whose full identity is protected by Germany's strict privacy laws, was an 18-year-old student living in Bavaria, Germany at the time of the crime. She had a chilling fascination with the gruesome acts committed by her criminal idols. Her bedroom walls were adorned with posters of both Ramirez and Bundy, illustrating her disturbing fixation on their murders and also their crime sprees. She wanted to become Germany's most famous murderer and vowed to start killing one person every day. It was her perverse desire to gain fame that led her to commit the heinous crime. Just being fascinated by serial killers obviously doesn't make you a dangerous person, but Sarah M.'s troubled past came to light as authorities delved deeper into her background. She first came to the attention of the police at the young age of 12, when she was repeatedly found skipping school. She was admitted to the child and adolescent psychiatric ward on 5 separate occasions, indicating a history of mental health issues. In 2019, Sarah was caught in possession of substances and had extreme logos painted on her hands, demonstrating her involvement in dangerous and potentially extremist activities. Sarah's history of legal troubles continued, as she was once given a community service sentence for verbally abusing police officers, referring to them with profanity. This incident, along with other growing concerns for her mental health, led to her admission at the Bamberg Mental Hospital in March 2021. At the mental hospital, Sarah was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, a mental health condition characterized by unstable moods, self-image, and behavior. Additionally, she was found to have thoughts of a serious dislike for herself, further emphasizing the severity of her mental health struggles. Her social circle appeared to be equally concerning. Her boyfriend, who was known to the police as an intensive offender, had recently broken up with her. This separation may have been a contributing factor that ultimately led her to commit the horrific crime. 5 days before the attack, Sarah had purchased a camping knife, the murder weapon, demonstrating her premeditated intention to commit murder. On May 1st, 2022, Sarah created a profile on various dating platforms under the name Dominia Cherry. Over the course of the following days, she received a message from a total of 241 men who responded to her profiles. Among them, one user aptly asked, "Are you the devil's bride?" Unfortunately, one of these 241 men was 39-year-old Zayed E. Unbeknownst to him, Zayed, an Iraq security guard who had immigrated to Germany, found himself in the crosshairs of a malevolent predator. They began communicating through the dating platform. Their exchanges appeared promising to any unsuspecting observer. Zayed, unaware of the danger lurking beneath the surface, was taken by Sarah's charm and wit. Sarah was rather promiscuous in the messages, and Zayed agreed to meet with Sarah on the very first day they made contact. Little did he know that behind the alluring facade, a chilling and twisted intention lay in wait. Whilst Zayed made his way to Sarah's apartment, Sarah sends her best friend several voice messages, and one of them was, quote, "I'm going out now. I want to kill my first one. I'm excited. Wish me luck that it works. I'm super scared," she said. In other voice notes, Sarah detailed her macabre plan, explaining that she would lure Zayed into a false sense of security by promising a surprise, instructing him to close his eyes. The message concluded with her eerily mimicking the sounds of stabbing. Her friend, unable to fathom the gravity of the situation, and dismissing Sarah's messages as a twisted joke, failed to take her chilling revelations seriously. The alarm was never raised, and the police remained uninformed of the impending danger. This oversight would prove to be a fatal mistake. Although the friend cannot in any way be blamed, the lack of intervention allowed Sarah's plan to unfold unimpeded, culminating in the horrifying murder of Zayed. Sarah was waiting for Zayed at the bus stop just outside her apartment. Whilst waiting, she searches Google and Reddit about where are good places to bleed someone out, and what happens when you stab someone in the neck, and how long does it take them to die. Just after 8:15 p.m, Sarah and Zayed meet for the first time, and she gets into his car. Unaware of the imminent threat, Zayed concentrated on driving safely. Along the journey, Sarah craftily suggested that they spend the night together in an isolated cabin, conveniently located in a remote area, far away from the watchful gaze of others. Intrigued by the proposal, Zayed agreed without any suspicion. Under Sarah's guidance, Zayed drove the car onto a dirt road leading to the hidden cabin. The isolated path created an ideal environment for her sinister plot. As they travelled along the rugged road, Sarah recognised her moment to act. From the passenger seat, she commenced her brutal assault, turning what was meant to be a first date into a scene of brutal horror. In a sudden, vicious motion, Sarah lunged at Zayed's neck with the weapon. Striking her target, she sunk her oak wood camping knife 12 centimeters deep into his neck. Alarmed and in pain, Zayed brought the vehicle to a grinding halt. A fierce struggle ensued between the two. As Zayed fought for his life, in a desperate attempt to defend himself, he managed to wrestle the knife from Sarah's grasp. With her weapon dislodged, Sarah fled from the car, leaving a severely wounded Zayed behind. Knowing he needed help urgently, Zayed mustered his remaining strength and managed to make his way to a nearby service station in search of assistance. Unfortunately, it was too late for Zayed, and he passed out at the service station, later falling into a coma and dying 19 days later. A mere 37 minutes after the attack, a bloodied Sarah was swiftly apprehended by the police. She was charged originally with attempted murder, as Zayed was still alive. As she was being taken away, she told police that she was an effing murderer and had a grin on her face. She was at this time clearly disturbed. During her apprehension, Sarah is also made to undergo a psychiatric evaluation. She is asked to complete a questionnaire, and one of the questions is along the lines of what annoys you about the situation. Her reply was, "I'm missing the best time of my life because I made a stupid mistake." This is up for interpretation. Is Sarah talking about the mistake of murder or the mistake of getting caught? This is a YouTube video Sarah made before the attack. It's a confession of her hatred for herself. She says, "I also have depression, self-hatred, all of those things. Okay, yeah, anyway, I want to tell you now why I'm doing this and why you shouldn't do it. If you're wondering now, yes, why do you say we shouldn't do it, but then do it yourself? Because for me, it's kind of an escape from all this stress, and I really can't stop. It's really an addiction." I think this goes a long way to showing where Sarah was in her life in the build-up to the murder. Throughout the trial, Sarah remained tight-lipped, only speaking to verify the correctness of the information in her arrest warrants. Her defense attempted to highlight Sarah's young age, 18 years old, when the crime occurred, requesting that it be taken into consideration during sentencing. In Germany, the maximum sentence a youth can receive is 10 years. The defense team advocated for an 8-year sentence for Sarah. Despite these pleas, the judge dismissed the requests, opting not to place restrictions on the length of Sarah's sentence. The gravity of her crime and the evidence presented during the trial would dictate the judge's decision, leaving Sarah facing the possibility of a much harsher sentence. Sarah was handed a 12-year sentence in a sociotherapeutic facility for the murder. She responded by holding up her left palm, where she had scrawled a pentagram, much like her serial killer idol Richard Ramirez did when he was in court. Is this part of her struggles with identity? Is she using Ramirez like a role model? It's tragic. Tim B., once a close friend of Sarah's, said that during the entire court case, he couldn't muster the courage to meet her cold gaze. From the depths of her cell, Sarah sent him a spine-chilling letter, which investigators meticulously dissected to unearth the sinister motive behind the heinous murder. Tim recalled, "I thought the man had touched her, but she revealed the truth, confessing that she orchestrated the entire event." He admitted that an unsettling aura had always surrounded his former friend. She posted macabre tributes to Richard Ramirez on her Instagram story. We even engaged in dark conversations about the theory that Jack the Ripper was in fact a woman, thus evaded capture, he said. Zayed's sister, 17-year-old Fatima, and his father, Rabia al-Salih, clung to the hope that their cherished family member would awaken from the coma and share his side of events. Regrettably, Zayed passed away before he could see his murderer sentenced to 12 years behind bars. With sorrow in her voice, Fatima said, "He was like a father to me, always spending time with our family. His dream was to start his own family. That's how he fatefully crossed paths with this woman." The family was deeply saddened by Sarah's behaviour at the trial. Fatima continued, "We were dismayed by her appearance. She showed up wearing makeup and new clothes, displaying no remorse for the unspeakable act she committed." Zayed's family raised €5,000 to fly his remains back to Iraq for a proper burial. The judge said Sarah had shown a complete lack of empathy for her victim. They continued, "It is extremely rare for a perpetrator to kill a person out of a lust for murder." I want to clarify her sentence. She's in a socio-therapeutic facility and has a basic minimum stay of 12 years. So unless she shows real signs of rehabilitation, then she will not be released. Reportedly, so far, she has shown no remorse for her crimes, but has been a model prisoner and gets along well with fellow inmates and corrections officers. Sarah will be eligible for release in 2034. Is it possible for her to be rehabilitated? It was a stroke of luck that Sarah's execution of the murder was so careless, leaving a trail of evidence for the police to follow. In fact, she had already scheduled 3 more dates with unsuspecting men. In a voice message to her friend, she chillingly vowed to kill 1 person every day from May onwards. The thought of what might have happened had she not been apprehended is harrowing. That's the end of this episode. Until next time, stay sane.